Hey Lovies, welcome or welcome back to my channel, Xtremetarot, where we do moon readings and zodiac readings. Sorry I've been MIA. I was helping to take care of my dad, but I should be back on my normal schedule starting now. We're doing a moon reading today to see what energies are coming through with this new moon in Libra. I feel like it's going to be very cleansy. I had the sage going. I have like a thing on it to try to stop the smoke, but it is like it's like, wow, like the sage won't stop burning. It was like a couple minutes ago. So that never happens. I use sage every time I do a reading. So I feel like it's significant. So let's see, what's the main energy coming through? Where are you guys at right now? Oh, sorry. Just got that. What is like the main lesson for you guys during the course of this moon? That sage is still going. It actually looks cool. I almost want it like in the shot. Let's just cleanse. All right. Let's see. Where's the collective at? What's their main lesson during the course of this new moon in Libra, Spirit? Okay. We have the sword. Cool. Okay. And we also have the animal on the bottom of the deck. So I feel like there's some sort of like guttural truth that wants to like be expressed through you or from you. Like I'm almost getting a sense of like, just right off the bat of like, I'm not going to take this anymore, but like not in a way of like that you feel like victimized, but almost in a way of like realizing like you have more power than you like. I'm kind of getting a vibe like that. So let's look into this sword. I like read this book. LX2. The knife, the blade, and the weapon. To use the sword is to decide. The blade separates one reality from another. The choice is made and all else falls away. If you find the sword in your grasp, you can no longer hesitate. This weapon requires a clear and decisive mind and a willingness to act. An onlooker may think the sword bearer is hasty and violent, but the most compassionate and responsible gesture is one that is honest, swift, and accurate. Our first encounter with the sword is at birth, when the card we share with the mother is the cord we share with the mother is cut. This moment defines our separation from her and begins our journey of becoming ourselves. We must make these cuts again and again if we are to grow. Decisions shape our life, and the sword is an infamous shaper of destiny. I don't know why I can't speak. When light, this energy is cutting through to what is essential, which to me, again, with this animal energy is very... like that's what I'm getting, like the animal, like your base needs, like this guttural like feeling inside of you, like what, it's so obvious, like because look, we have this riddle, sorry, now I'm like looking at this and telling a story here, there's a riddle underneath where it's like, if there, even if you don't know what it is, but if there's been a source of unhappiness in your life where, ooh, like I can't put my finger on it, like, but I'm just not happy for whatever reason, like no matter what I try to do, there's something missing, but I can't figure it out with like the riddle. I feel like the answer is like a lot more obvious than you think. I just heard that song by Wiz Khalifa, On the Real, it's so obvious. Like, all right, I don't know. So what's that song? Roll Up by Wiz Khalifa. I don't know. That just popped in my head, but I don't know why. Anyway, but with the animal, it's like, again, cutting through to what is essential, like cutting through the BS, to all the, maybe like not lies you tell yourself, but, social conventions that you're following, politically correct behavior, feeling like you're doing what you should be doing, in order to get to that more essential, like inner, like what are you truly desiring, but it's like, but what are you heaping on top of it and telling yourself that you can't have for whatever reason, you can't go for whatever reason. Like, again, it's not like socially acceptable. There's something like that where it's like, you know what, I don't care anymore because it's like punishment enough, like not going after what I want. It's like kind of the vibe that I'm getting. So like, what does it matter? The consequences. I'm almost getting like a sort of a fearless energy here where it's like, screw the consequences. Like, I'm already like living them by like not having the life that I want. Like, what's the worst that could happen? Kind of a feeling. You could be sitting with that question of like, I feel like there's like a sense of bravery and of like a gusto like I'm getting. The dark side is hasty, backstabbing, a dull and painful blade. Yeah, and it's like, for instance, say we'll use an example of when you're in a relationship with somebody and you just know it's not going anywhere and you're not happy anymore. Like a guttural instinct of like, this isn't what I want. And you try to slowly like let them know that you're not into them anymore, but like by like, you know, kind of withholding your affection and not calling them as much, or if you're just like dating and it's not that serious, right? Like stop answering their texts as much and things like that. It's like a slow and painful death. But or maybe this is happening to you or something like that. But I think Spirit's saying like a swift, like a clean break is better. Like, you know, and sometimes you can seem cruel to do that. Listen, I'm sorry, like I don't feel that way about you. The cut is made, like, you know what I mean? That's just one example. I'm just using that because it's a very easy example to use. But for instance, even if it's happening to you, this is talking about you making a decision. Maybe you're waiting on somebody else's decision, for example, when you could just be the one to either like decide for yourself, like this wishy-washy behavior isn't for me, and make the cut yourself, or even have like a conversation with the sword energy. It could be like that, where you have to be like, hey, like I noticed that you're becoming very distant. Like, do you still want to like, okay, this went out finally. Do you still want to like engage in a relationship with me, or like what's really good? What's like going on here? And have that like difficult conversation, make that clean break if you have to, or allow the other person to. But I think this is about you making your own decision. All right, let's see. Let's just roll the dice here. Okay. This is Gemini. This is the 12th house. This is, oh my God, I just looked at these before I started this. Is this Saturn? I think it's Saturn. Yes, it's Saturn. Because where's the other one? That looks, yeah, that's Jupiter. Yes, this is Saturn. Saturn and Gemini in the 12th house. Yeah, so this is like tough communication based on what you know deep down in your soul or something like that. You might have reached the end of a cycle here and not be wanting to admit it to yourself because it's very painful. Also, this is a number 62 if anybody is into numerology and things like that. But with the Gemini energy, that could represent, again, it's kind of a similar energy here, like trying to make decisions and like both sides of the argument, both sides of the situation, being of two minds about something within yourself, and realizing that it's not that complicated. It's almost like I'm getting almost like the answers in your soul, but it's not really like a soulful thing with the animal. Like it is, but it's some like a fiery soulful thing, not like a like soulful. It's more like like I'm going, like I already know. It's like instinctual, you know what I mean? It's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting. So okay, and like you're like getting into that animal energy. Like, should we look at the animal quick and just see what it says? Like, it's like, because the animal to me is all about like sensuality in a way, where it's like, I want to feel this kiss, I want to like rip, I don't know, like just like some Game of Thrones stuff. Okay, when late, vital, elemental, alive, dances, like what makes you feel alive. Like it's like you can't like logic your way out of what makes you feel the most alive. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like having that realization and just like sinking into that. When dark, savagery, pent up emotion, and lashing out. So if you're not in alignment with what makes you feel most alive and sort of going along with social conventions and things like that, this is like the opposite of that. There could be resentment, there could be, and you might not even be, like, again, that riddle energy, not even be able to put your finger on why, but because you're stuck in a situation that isn't like vital. But then it's like we tell ourselves these things of like, oh, we can't have that though, we have to work, or we have to like, you know, get married by the time we're 30, or like there's like a lot of social conventions that they're, you know, that are just ingrained into us as a society. But we can decide to go a different way. This says we are mammals. The hair on our chest and between our legs reminds us so. Ooh. We try hard to deny our unrefined animalistic nature, yet through this archetype, we tap into power and direction. Yes, I feel like especially if you've been indecisive, aimless, like this is going to help you to like, yes, this is what I want. Activating the animal within means reawakening our relationship to nature in the most broad and embodied sense. Drinking from waterfalls, roaring at the moon, opening eyes underwater, eating berries from the vine. Yes, the life force of our planet begs us to set down the devices, the constraints, and the social constructs, and remember the warm blood that pulses through our veins. Yes, like be like Spike from Buffy when he's like, I forget what he said, but something like, I'm not known for being a big thinker. Like, I go with my blood. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't know that show, sorry, you're probably like, what? But if you do know, you're probably like, yes, Spike. But yeah, it's like being led by your blood and passion instead of like, you know, logic and reason and well, this is going to make me have the most chance of success if I settle down with this person, or if I do this job, or if I live my life this way, whatever it is here. The animal longs for breath, food, procreation, and physicality. It wants soil under our nails and starlight on our skin. If this all sounds terribly unsophisticated to you, take note that it is said that when Buddha became enlightened, he roared like a great lion. I feel like society sometimes is flipped, and like what is like actually like good for us is like told that it's bad, and like kind of like vice versa in a way. But I don't know. I think it's all just, well, let's not get into this conspiracy theories of mine, but like not just mine, like I made them up, but like the ones I like believe in kind of. But all right, it's almost like a device, I feel like, to keep us like disempowered. But when you start really going for like the gusto of like what you like, with gusto towards what you actually like passionately desire, I feel like your whole life changes. It is this like electricity, and it's like if you've been living adult life, I feel like you've recently been like jolted. Okay, I feel like my nail's gonna fall off. Oh god, I have it right here. Hold on, my glue, let me just get it ready, God forbid. Okay. All right, guys. So what else? Where's the collective at right now during the course of this moon? Interesting. Okay. Wow. Six of Wands in reverse and the Empress. And the Strength card. So the Empress is Venus energy. Libra and Taurus energy as well, and this is a Libra moon, so I'm not surprised to see that. Interesting that we have the Six of Wands in reverse. I feel like the Six of Wands is a card of victory, so maybe this is like speaking that there is some sort of like established victory here. I'm just going to glue my nail. There is some sort of established victory here, whereas maybe you found some sort of success, but it's not like fulfilling you. That animal, like some sort of socially conventional success, if that makes sense. Even if it's a relationship, or maybe it's even that you're in a marriage, like with the Empress, that could be like a wife, like where you're like in a marriage, but like the relationship isn't fulfilling, like, but in the eyes of society, like you've achieved something, or you have some sort of status or some sort of standing, but it's like unfulfilling is the vibe that I'm getting. And with the Empress energy, it's like I'm getting like success here, like money or something in a way, or like some sort of conventional success. But then with the Empress here, I'm just getting like she's out in nature, she's one with nature, she's flowing, she has like wheat around her, like almost like getting a back to basics sort of a thing. And like maybe wanting to transition into like, I don't know, like a more, it's like maybe like, say you like switch it up and do something different. It might not be like as socially acceptable, but you'll be feeling better. Like the Empress, it's about how she's wearing soft, flowy clothes. She's sitting on these cushions. Like she's out in nature, like hearing the birds chirping, like seeing the trees, breathing in fresh air. Like this person's out in nature too. Like, don't get me wrong, but he's putting on a show here. If it was upright, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but the fact that it's in reverse is making me think of the shadow side of this card, which is like vanity, and pride and things like that. And that could be stopping you from like, I feel like you've kept your more animal instincts like tamped down for too long here with the strength card being here. And it's like what you truly desire has been really like subdued by you. And it's like finally, like right now, it's like you could be feeling very motivated to let him loose like that animal. All right, let's see what else we can have here for where you guys are at. Okay, that's too many. For the collective watching, where are they at right now during the course of this moon? Lavender, surround yourself with love. And Clover, release your guilt. Interesting. Okay, so this is number 3. This is number 19. This is also the number of the animal, number 19. So that number could be significant as well. And then we have, look, this number 17, flower, be honest with yourself. But you see what she's like, with her hand over her mouth, like, did I say that? Like, that I really want that. But again, she looks kind of wild. Like, her hair looks wild. Like, I feel like Spirit just wants you to, like, go wild. And, like, I feel like not even that Spirit wants you to go wild. I feel like you yourself want to almost, like, go wild. But there is this sort of guilt. Again, like, release your guilt. Release this grip on yourself, this iron grip. And let yourself be more, like, loose and flowy. And let things soften. I feel like I was, like, reading that in one of my oracle cards. I don't know if it was a reading I did recently on my other channel, but it was something like whatever expectations you have, like allow them to soften almost, and just like kind of at least allow yourself to like imagine, because we have the realm of the mind here with the sword. I don't know if I necessarily, this could be about communication. I mean, this could be about like speaking up to somebody, like we were talking about that clean break, maybe like ripping the band-aid off. Excuse me. And if you have to end a relationship, for example, or if you have to find out, just have an uncomfortable conversation and see if somebody wants to end a relationship with you. But this is also about taking the power into your own hands and not like sitting around and waiting for somebody else to make a decision for you. This is about really like taking matters into your own hands and taking like control back of your life here with strength, but not like controlling yourself and stifling yourself, but like allowing yourself to be free, and then like allowing like life to flow into place. And it's almost like releasing control to get control back. Like I know that sounds like weird, but that's like kind of the vibe that I'm getting here. So, okay. And then we have the lavender, surround yourself with love. When I think lavender and clover, there's a lot about plants, flowers. It's making me think of like simple times when you're like a kid and you're just like playing outside trying to find a 4-leaf clover. This says surround yourself with love. So if you don't even know where to start and you're like, okay, like, yes, I do feel like unsatisfied and unfulfilled in life, but what am I supposed to do? Like quit my job and just like, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, obviously not. But I think a good place to start is try to like just pinpoint those things in your life that truly do bring you joy. If it's like a group of friends, like hang out with them more and just try to like chase that feeling is a good place to start, you know? So I feel like it's good for the soul. If you like to do arts and crafts, for instance, and that you're really happy when you do that stuff, do that. Like hone in on your hobbies. Gardening could be a thing, just because I see so much like plant imagery and stuff. Like the wheat, I was thinking about the wheat, the clover, like playing outside, like doing stuff you did. Go back to when you were like a little kid and like the things you used to love to do. Like what was it? Like I just recently found like a folder of my old school stuff, and it was like, what do you want to be when you get older? And I wrote like an art teacher, and like I do still love to like paint and do stuff, but I'm not good at painting. But like it's not for that reason. It's like I just love to do it. Like it's just so much fun. Like I love to put on some like R&B, like hip hop, and like just like paint. Like it's so much fun. It's like I love doing arts and crafts. Or even like, okay, my car broke down and I had to it was my niece's birthday the other day. And I was like, oh my God, like, because they were picking me up for, we were all going to go to dinner. But I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't even have, like, time. I can't even go get her a card. So I had to, like, whip one up and make one really quick. But it was so cute. I took, like, this big piece of construction paper. I, like, cut out like a bunch of pictures like of her and with like those cool scissors that like, you know, make like a cool border. I don't know. I just like whipped it up together. I had to like be ready in like an hour. I like whipped it up like together like really quick, but it was so cute. Like I mean, I think she liked it, but it was just like, it was fun. It was just like, I was like almost glad that that happened and I could kind of do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like get back to like stuff like that that you love. Like the simple things like that. Okay. So let's see how do I do this reading? What needs to be released during this new moon? We have a full moon in Capricorn. I love that. Okay, look, it's time to take action. New moon in Aries. Yes, being less led by responsibility and more led by your impulses and your instincts. Love it. What needs to be seen during this new moon? Surrender to the divine, full moon. Okay. And what is emerging? Oh, your commitment is being tested with the first quarter moon. Nothing is yet set in stone and the mutable moon. Okay, this is on the bottom of the deck in my moon reading on my other channel as well. So there is a lot of things in flux right now with the mutable energy. And I'm not surprised to see that here. We have Capricorn energy like here with Saturn, and we also had, oh, this is on the 11th house now. What was it on before? 12th. And we also had the Gemini energy, the mutable energy coming through here with that. So let me just take a sip of my coffee. And let's see what needs to be released here. The full moon in Capricorn, like the feeling that life is like supposed to be hard, that life is supposed to be a struggle. And I feel like we all have had it ingrained in us. Not all, but a lot of us have had that ingrained in us, in society, in movies and everything, that like, you know, hard work produces results. And that is true. And that's not to knock like hard work, but when you're working hard for like someone else's company, like for instance, it's like you're not going to have the same joy as if you're like working really hard, chasing your own dream. Whatever your dream is, like, I feel like it's really good. It's like, for instance, let's talk about career since we have Capricorn energy coming through. If we're talking about your career and say you're at a job and, oh God, say you're at a job and you're not really happy there. But at the same time, like the bills need to be paid. There's a sense of duty and responsibility coming through here. A lot of times I think about Aaron Doughty. I used to watch him a lot. And he would talk about how like he was like a shoe salesman. You probably know, like he's like really popular on YouTube. But like he was like a shoe salesman and then he wanted to be like a YouTube person or whatever. So it's like he was like, I didn't just look at YouTube like it was my side hustle. I looked at it like it was my main hustle. So it's like I couldn't come home and have the excuse of like, oh, I'm too tired to make a video today or whatever it was. I had to really like make that like my side hustle. But the thing is like sometimes, or I had to make that my main hustle, excuse me, like my main priority. I couldn't use like my other job as an excuse not to like work on my dreams. Like you have to chase your dreams. Like Tarot Reader Peter on Instagram, I love him, but there's this one quote, I like posted it on my Instagram, like my and what did it say? It was like I'll never give up on my dreams. It's like this whole paragraph, but it's like I'll chase my dreams like a bloodthirsty wolf until like my legs give out. Like you have to kind of like, again, bloodthirsty wolf, like that animal instinct. Like you have to have that mentality of like, yes, you might be working hard like at a job that you're not really crazy about. But at the end of the day, like if you want to achieve your dreams, like you have to channel that energy into them as well. Like, and I'll just use another personal example. Like I'm a waitress and you know, at my job, like, and I've always been this type of person, a workaholic, where like I'm always working doubles and I'm always doing this and that, like, at like the other job that I had for like a long time. And I knew when I came into like this job that I'm working at, I was like, I wanted my tarot channel to be my main priority and I only wanted to work 5 days. Like it was weird because it was like we were really short staffed when I first started for the first year and a half and I had to work all these crazy hours. But like now that we're not, like I only want to work 5 days, and a lot of my coworkers almost act like, oh, I work all these doubles, or like, oh, I do this and that. Like, no offense if you're watching, but like, it's just like, and I'm like, well, that's good for, like, I don't want to do that. I don't want my life to be this restaurant. Like, I love this restaurant. Like, I love working here. I'm grateful that I have this job. Don't get me wrong. I want to pay my bills, but I'm channeling that hustle. Like, I try to channel that hustle into myself and into my own endeavors. Like, you know, like my videos are what's important to me. My YouTube channel is what's important to me. Like, helping people is what's important to me. Like, I'm grateful for my job, and like it, but that's what I'm saying, like learning how to maybe split your responsibilities in that way. But sometimes like you have to deal with, because it's like we live in a hustle culture, and people are probably like, oh, your videos don't even get views, but it's like that same like bloodthirsty wolf thing. I don't care. Like, I'm still gonna, it's my dream. Like, you can't stop me. Like, you can't guilt me into, yeah, release your guilt. You can't guilt me into like wanting to you know, work all these extra hours just so like people can be like, oh, good job. Like, I don't really care if you think I'm doing a good job. I don't care if you agree with my decisions. You know, it's like you don't have to explain yourself to anybody, and it's like that's what this is, like taking that power back into your own hands. Like, you know what I mean? So this says what needs to be seen. We have the full moon, surrender to the divine. I'm going to try to like look at this quick because I just want to see if there's anything useful in here. So what needs to be seen, like there's like emotions that need to be let go of, like a way of being that needs to be let go of here. A whole like maybe way of life, because the full moon, this is like the big mama full moon card, because it is, I mean, maybe the eclipse would be like the bigger one, the biggest one, but this is like the second one, because it's like all the full moons in one is how I look at it. And we did have that 12th house energy, which was like the end of a big cycle. So I feel like this is like the end of a cycle for you guys watching. But let's just see. The very word climax brings all sorts of ideas and images to mind. Agreed, but it really is the feeling of this card. Life is coming to a head, a point, a conclusion, or a turning point. Yes, there may be some kind of change and possibly even some sort of emotional explosion. Tune into your emotions now and see what they're telling you. They're very likely close to the surface no matter when in the moon cycle you've pulled this card. Matters will soon conclude, and you'll find out whether or not your wishes are going to come true. The odds are in your favor, as this is a positive card, but you may need to work harder than usual to keep cool as events unfold. So there could be like situations arising. So what needs to be seen? Like there could be, I think Spirit is wanting you to know, now that I just read that, I'm getting that, like, say you're at a job or in your relationship or whatever example you want to use, things could be coming to a head in order to illustrate and to illuminate, because that's what the full moon is all about, illumination. So things could be coming forth to illuminate why you shouldn't care so much about, like, say it's a job, and say your boss like screams at you, or say your boss or your coworker does some shady stuff, or whatever it is, like some kind of issue at the workplace that like really, it's like something that always annoys you, and it's just like extra intensified because it's a new moon, it's an eclipse actually, so it could be very intense right now. There's a lot, I read somewhere in an article that like there's about a lot about conflict and change. So there could be a lot of conflicts coming up in order to like shed light on the fact that like you're not happy doing this, and or something like no matter what you do, it's never good enough, or no matter how hard you try, you never feel fulfilled, no matter how much money you make, it's like you're not happy, like whatever it is, it's like something like that where it's like you're realizing like I really don't feel fulfilled doing this. Or even if it's like, oh, I have my career, but like if you're somebody that kind of like didn't want love or something like that, you didn't want the softer side of life here, because that also could be like the more masculine versus the more feminine side of life, where you're more so like, I'm just gonna hustle and, you know, get that money, but like almost like murder my feelings kind of a vibe, you know. But then it's like you're missing out, like you could feel like you want both, like you want to have both, and that's okay, something like that I'm getting as well. So whatever the case is here, but what's going to be illuminated is like maybe like this feeling of emptiness, or a conflict with people like in your relationship where you're like, this isn't right for me, or a, like I was saying, like some issues at the workplace where it's like you're putting your heart and soul and your blood into the place, and you realize you're not appreciated no matter what you do. So you're like, why does it matter? Like if I'm, you know, giving all this energy, or if especially if it's something where you're giving a lot of energy in the workplace and you see your coworkers aren't, it might make you like almost want to pull back and be like, you know what, like I deserve to channel this energy into myself because it's not even appreciated here. Like I feel like something's going to be shown to you that's going to feel like a conflict and feel bad, but it's like, I think Spirit is wanting you to know that like, no, that's not the reason. It's because or trying to illuminate like why you shouldn't care, like why you should give into your own instincts here and not give a fuck, because it's like this was talking about being a savage, and like sometimes you have to be a savage self-lover. I have that in my advice deck, like be a savage self-lover, and anyone that don't like it can fuck off. Like I know I shouldn't be cursing, but like seriously though, that's like the energy that I'm getting, like, and spirit's showing you this to not to like frustrate you and upset you or anything, but like in order to illuminate the fact that you're always upset and that you're always frustrated, and like that's going to continue unless you make a decision to like change things up. And that doesn't mean you have to be rash and quit your job, but it's like I was saying, like limit and set boundaries and limit your time there. And as far as the relationship, I mean, that's a decision that you have to make, obviously, or if it's a conversation or whatever, but like sit with this and ask yourself these questions. Like, what have I been seeing here? What is right in front of my face? How have I been feeling in these situations? And sort of go from there. If you've been feeling empty, if you've been feeling like your life is all about money and you chased money and now you have it and you're still kind of like feel like life is missing something. Okay, why is that? Like sit with that. Like, what am I really craving? Like that. I feel like it's like almost like a soft energy, like something like nurturing, something sweet. And it's like me, and it's like, I feel like that's something maybe some of you watching at least like run from. Some of you, probably like 4 people are going to watch that. One of you. Just kidding. Okay, so let's just see what else. A wish you made may be about to come true. It's make or break time. Make or break time. Yes. There could be a sense of madness in the air. Breathe deep and stay calm. Yeah. You may need to forgive someone to release negative energy. It's time to let go of the past. This card is a power card. The full moon is often a time when answers are given to questions asked during the new moon, but this is the new moon. So maybe this is a time to be like, figure out what you're trying to ask yourself. Like, what is the question? And pulling this card at any time in the lunar cycle suggests answers will be coming your way before too long. So figure out what the question is, and the answers may be coming soon is what I'm getting. And then the next is what is emerging. With the first quarter moon, I got another card I don't really know much about. Let's flip to it. I hope I'm not annoying you by like reading this, but okay. There could be some challenges coming your way, but they're just the universe's way of testing you. Face any hurdles with confidence. What do you actually think is possible? If you believe you can do it, then you probably can. If you spend your life affirming that something is too big for you to surmount, it probably is. So start like looking at the reasons why. This is all about your mind and your mental state. So what is emerging? I think a lot of your doubts are going to come to the forefront in order for you to become aware of them. Like, I feel like, for instance, say you make this decision, like, okay, like, I'm going to like leave this relationship. Let's go back to our original example. But then like these doubts come up where it's like, but what if I never find anybody else? What if I'm alone forever? Like some sort of like limiting beliefs, like maybe I should just stay where it's safe, and like, something like that, like almost like if I venture too far from my comfort zone, like I might be uncomfortable kind of. So I feel like what is emerging, like it might be some uncomfortable situations, but I think they're emerging, like this was saying, so spirit can test you and get you familiar with them. And just because something is uncomfortable, doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It could mean that. So it's like, but I think these situations are going to come up for you to be able to decide, am I just uncomfortable because I'm scared to fail, and so it's making me want to run back, or am I uncomfortable because this is actually like a situation where I feel threatened or in danger? Like, you know what I mean? Like ask, and you might find out like, oh, actually, no, like it's not that bad. I'm just like scared or something like that. I don't know. I'm getting a vibe like that like that's what's coming up. Let me see if there's anything more in this book. The answer to your question is yes, but not yet. So, okay. So it might be something too, like you're like, okay, I'm gonna like really focusing on this new career, like say like the YouTube channel, like I was saying, like with Erin Dowdy and myself. And then you like post a video, finally you're like, woo, like, all right, this is my dream. And then like nothing happens. And you're like, oh my God, was I wrong to like start going after this and to put all my energy into this kind of a thing? But I think spirit, that's why it's saying yes, but not yet. It's being tested. Like, how bad do you really want this? Are you going to chase this like a bloodthirsty wolf? Or are you going to give up at the first sign of, like rejection or disappointment or failure or whatever, like, you know what I mean? And I think that's what this is about too. You're halfway to your goal. I think making the decision is like the major turning point, the halfway point, if you will, Like that has to happen before, and then it's like a whole other leg of the journey, like kind of a thing. So I think Spirit wants you to know that you still need to put in a bit more effort. Sometimes we just need to realize how much we want something, and you need to recommit to someone or something. So I feel like there's going to be some sort of situation coming up that might test you and make you feel that like you're gonna fail, or it's some sort of block to what you're after. And so that's why I think Spirit's saying, like, if you really want this, like, no obstacle is insurmountable. This is saying, what was it saying? Something about the way you believe. If you believe that you can do it, then you probably can. If you spend your life affirming that something is too big for you to surmount, it probably is. See how that works? Like, you need to just like be like, no, fuck it. Like, this is my dream. I don't care. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. If I fail 3,000 times, I'll get it 3,001. Like, period, the end. Like, that's it. That's it. Like, leave no room for doubt. Just keep affirming that to yourself and just keep working harder. Like, look at every challenge as like as an opportunity. Like, oh, look what I learned. Look what I did. Like, look what, okay, I learned not to do this like that. I learned blah, 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 like something like that, you know? If this is a relationship example and you feel like, you had your eye on somebody else, on the person that you wanted, and they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you could be like, okay, like this is, now I just left this other relationship, but really, like, were you happy in that other relationship? Maybe this person will end up, their relationship will end up not working out later down the line, but you could use this time to work on yourself, kind of a thing. Maybe you're not meant to jump from one relationship to the other, and it's like you're meant to have this time on your own, and just making that decision in and of itself to leave a relationship that you weren't happy in is like very powerful in and of itself. Let's see, in the lunar cycle, the first quarter moon comes between the new and the full moon. It's a time when the sun and moon are at a hard astrological angle and can prompt a small crisis. No matter when you pull this card, you need to see any dramas as a stepping stone to where you want to be. It can also be a time when you need to stay strong through a storm. That's interesting because in my Aries, if you're an Aries, you might want to check that out on my other channel. It's called Aries Only, but that was the energy, the storm energy was the main energy that I got for that reading. I did this exact reading, this moon reading yesterday. So, okay, let's see. What is the positive aspect of this moon? We have the Queen of Swords. Yes, making a hard and a tough decision. I think, oh, I just pulled that out, the Queen of Wands. I don't know why, but okay. I'm just like, well, anyway, the Queen of Wands. Yeah, making a decision to like follow your passions here. I feel like the positive aspect of this moon, right, is there could be some sort of conflict coming in. So it's almost like the positive is going to be a negative, and that's going to help you to, the positive is going to be a negative, and that's going to help you make this tough decision. Oh my God, I did not realize this video was going on so long. And I didn't even ask a question, but what is the negative side of this? Like the darker side of this moon? Okay, well, we have the Three of Cups here, or I'm sorry, Three of Swords. What is the darker aspect of this moon? All right, I feel like that just like wanted to come out. I'm just gonna leave it because it came out twice. We have the Three of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. So it's like something that you've worked hard for, maybe crumbling down, whether it's a relationship or something like that. But something might come to light that really makes you make a decision and choose a path when you've been a little bit wishy-washy. Like there's gonna be some sort of like jab to the heart here. And I think like in a way it is positive because it's going to help you move forward and finally choose a direction here with the Two of Wands. But it's not going to feel the best. It's going to hurt. Like I feel like it's going to hurt. It's going to feel like a crumbling down of things that you've maybe built up and taken time to build up for yourself. So, ooh, guys. All right. We got to move this along because it's almost like 40 minutes long, this reading. It's like kind of crazy. So let's see. I feel like it was flowing and it was a good reading, but we'll see. All right. What are the affirmations for you guys? Let's see. For this new moon, what can you work on? We have my thoughts manifest my reality. I hold the power to change them. That's like choose them. Sorry, but that's like the whole vibe of this reading, like 100%. And look, I trust the universe is always 10 steps ahead of me. And I feel like if there are any challenging situations, like that's why. So it's like, this is happening for you. I am grounded and centered. So that's important to be grounded. Throughout the course of this moon, things could be very emotionally upheavally. So make sure to get grounded by like, I mean, this is, I see a lot about nature, gardening, being outside. Like there's a lot of fall festival, fun stuff you can do. Even just like cleaning your room and like stuff like that to me is very grounding. Whenever I'm like too much in my head, I just like, I start cleaning the house. Like, I don't know, like that to me is like my number one thing. So let's get some advice for you. What is the advice for the collective watching right now? Oh, what happened to that card? Fierceness and vulnerability both have a place in you. And again, it's that sort of animal vibe that I feel like you've been suppressing, but I think Spirit's like, let it out. That like that fierceness is going to be the motivating thing that like moves you forward. Go big or go home. Yes. 100%. Okay, do we want those? Sometimes the heart knows in a way that the logical mind can't. Again, a very big vibe of this reading. Your heart, your passions, your blood, like pumping. Like, what is it saying? Time to spice things up, 100%. Oh, do we want all these? I don't think so. It's too many. All right. Regardless of how filthy your past is, your future is still spotless. Like, don't let the past dictate your future. You can have a completely new beginning here. This is too many. I just want like one more. One more. Oop. Okay. You feel what you feel right now, and later you'll feel something else. It's all temporary. So don't let whatever's happening now really like get you down, guys. It's just like it's a moon. It'll pass. It'll ebb and flow. Like, take a spiritual bath or a spiritual shower, get some Epsom salt and just like scrub up, you know, if you've been having a lot of emotional things happening, like scrub it off, get it off. And yeah, like, I mean, I feel like this advice just really tied together the reading nicely. So I think we'll just leave it at that. I hope you guys have a great new moon and a beautiful day or night wherever you are. And I'll catch you in the next reading, okay? Bye.